Hello, everyone, and here I am again with another retro review, and this one of Batgirl. I seem to be on a Batman Gotham roll lately, so so now here's Batgirl. So this one again came out probably around 2006 2008, or at least probably early 2000s, and these are like the DC Direct lines, which is now they change it to 13-inch deluxe collector figure instead of like 1/6 scale, right? Because that is more representative of this. I think they realized that the ones that they've come out on the earlier versions are not actually 1/6 scale versions because they were taller than 12 inches, which is the very definition of a 1/6 scale figure. And so these are just sort of like the 13 deluxe collector figure that they say. And I got this on sale actually at a comic convention. Um, I really don't know how much. I guess when it originally came out, it was around maybe $70, $80, but I got this for $60. And this is a variant version, because there's another non-variant version, which didn't include the red handbag, and also had the plastic hair. So this one had a rooted hair instead, and there she is. And I love these boxes. Really, it's this is very reminiscent of the 1966 um, Batman. And let me just zoom in to show some of the artwork here. So there's a little bit of a biography of how Barbara Gordon became Batgirl. Gifted with a photographic memory, genius level intellect, finally honed martial arts skills, and expertise in electronics and computer hacking. So she's a librarian, research assistant by day, and becomes Batgirl at night. And, I love these sort of like, is she a heroine or a villainess? What is her secret identity? So that's Batgirl, and that's the art. Um, and at the back here, we have the same, more of the same. It's just more information about um, the type of action figure this is. Um, so yeah, let's try to open her up and just see um, the articulation and stuff, and whether the action figure actually still holds up. Okay, now that we got her out of the box, um, the art design. Sorry, this is the hairnet that she comes in because she has rooted hair, and the art background here is a library, of course, because Barbara Gordon is a librarian, in her bio here. Um, and she does come with a set of accessories. So she does come with two pairs of extra hands. So one is like a grasping hand and an open hand. By default, I have her with like a closed fist hand. She does come with a batarang. So I think this is standard. I remember seeing my Batman action figure from DC Direct having this as well. So the neat stuff is that it closes, and then if you flip it strongly enough, it does open. Um, you know, as all batarangs should. Um, she also comes with a grappling hook, so this is just like coiled in, but that's a grappling hook. It's just too strenuous to sort of like refold it again. But essentially, it's a grappling hook, and it does have like, so this is like so it does open up like a claw here. Um, but I just have it like nicely tucked away for now because essentially, if you want to pose her as I mean that line, this grappling hook is actually quite strong, and then she can hold on to it. And this is like the extra accessory that the deluxe one has. It's like the bat purse, which does hook up to her belt, right? And I think this is like reminiscent of like the Yvonne Craig um, film. I mean the movies, right? The TV series. Of course, she has her utility belt, but essentially there's just a clip at the back of that bag, and then you can just like clip it on here, as much as you want it. Like it fits right there, and then there you go. And then you have Batgirl with a purse, with a red purse. It even has its own bat emblem, which is the very '60s style, very '66 version. And she does come with her own stand. So this is her stand with Batgirl with her face, right? A little bit of her face and her name. And I don't know. That's actually the first time that I've seen it. Maybe that's like a '60s thing, or maybe that was like an early '70s, when or '80s when she had her run. I'm not really sure. I need to look back at the history again. But again, so this version does come with a rooted hair, and her costume is black instead of the gray with the molded hair, right? And I I like her either way, but I'm more partial to the black with the yellow, because I've always thought that the black should always kind of go better with the yellow sort of like motif. And her cape is already like, it's not really bright blue, but it is kind of like a sort of like a lighter shade of navy blue, I guess, almost kind of like purplish in hue in my eyes. You know, um, but decent head sculpt, like I said, for a figure that's more than 15 years old. The head sculpt is actually quite decent on Batgirl. Um, you know, and just looking at the details of her eye painting. Of course, she doesn't, like these DC Direct toys. They don't give you the swappable heads. Unlike the other iterations of the toy lines. But overall, you know, again, the advantage of having a cloth suit is that there's no you can't you're not hampered with articulation, and even like her gloves here, these are kind of like a leather material, and then these plastic blades are installed inside the gloves, and they're fairly steady and sturdy. Um, she has real boots, right? That kind of like zip all the way down. So this is a bodysuit it's an actual bodysuit on an action figure, and you could. So I've seen some customizers and kit bashers. What they do is that they swap out the body for something else. But I like the bodies that they've used here. I mean, like I said, they held up in time. Any toy, honestly, any toy that holds up for more than 15 years, either sitting on a shelf or just in the box, has my respect, because, you know, um, a lot of like the rubber type bodies, they tend to degrade in time. And I know there's been a lot of improvement in the plastic materials of the late, but um, I don't think that's kind of like the norm or the case with most of these things. So I'm quite happy with this. How's it's held up? She even has the high heels and everything, and the belt, right? Like the utility belt. Like this is like the very '60s, um, 1960s utility belt. So she does have like a wide range of articulation. So her uh, she has torso articulation, and you know so this is like a hard plastic, but her the like this is soft, right? This part of the chest is soft. There's no uh, chipping away of the logo, right? Even though if this part is rubberized, it hasn't degraded in time, so that's fairly impressive. um, And yeah, she has like the full range here, you know, and you know, double jointed knees, full range of you know, she could do splits, and she could do running motions, and uh, like I said, for a figure that's a little bit up there in age, this is actually one of those well made ones, I think. Um, yeah, and they've done some renditions of like, you know, the I forgot what exact year is it. Maybe it's like Batgirl Year Zero or something, where she's like sporting the same type of costume with the black and the yellow motif, and I like that. Um, you know, it's very reminiscent of the original design, and you know, Batgirl is, I think, up there in terms of like being one of the classic characters, especially you know, when you're giving her sort of like a homage, Yvonne Craig ish. You know, you can't part with that design as easily. So her cape is just like one through cape. I think it's just like if you need to remove the cape, you just have to pop her head, and then you know you can just like take that off. But who needs to do that? Like I love this. Like look at that. Like the lining, you don't see that much. You know, like with sort of like the right um, with the sweep, with the bat sweep. Like I like that. I like that. You know, detail and design here. I mean, to think these are not these are relatively inexpensive figures when they came out. It's quite impressive that they added those details. I mean, they could have just made this like a one cloth or something without having paid attention to the details of the cape. But this is quite impressive. It's quite nice. Like the texturing is nice, and it lends itself to a posability. It's not wired or anything, but I don't think it detracts too much for the figure. Like if you're posing or standing up or anything like that, you could just sort of arrange it in such a way that you'd want. But like I said, like the details, the bat-ish boots here, you know, the bat ears, and then the sweep of the wings. I love that. Even kind of like the details here of the utility belt, because you know the utility belt, some of them are, you know, they cap up or cap down, right? And I like that. Pretty impressive stuff. Like I said, for an older figure, can't complain. $60, yeah, can't go wrong with that. So this one is a keeper, I think. You know, along with the other lines of toys that I have. Like I said, it's fairly hard to get some of these toys now. I think if you look at eBay, you'll get an idea of how much the prices are. I haven't looked at any of them in terms of like cost, and you know, because I think these ones I'd have a hard time parting with, especially if you know, I get sentimental about toys, especially if I find them at a convention. You know, like because they're tied into an experience that I had, and I think I got this from like a fan expo, but I forget the year, but it's almost there was a time that I was going to these fan expos, and then I would just like get like a DC Direct toy, you know, out of that convention somewhere. Um, so so there it is. It's Batgirl. Fantastic figure, holds up the test of time, and that's it. And if you're thinking of getting her, all the best of luck. Probably your best bet is eBay or any sort of like Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, because she's already out of production, unfortunately. But I hope that this has been helpful for those of you who are considering adding her to her collection. Thanks for watching.